Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Molly's Clubhouse. I'm your host, Dayna Hilton, along with my kid friend, Molly, the fire safety dog. And we are so excited today because we are once again live streaming with our friends from Sweden. We have Helena with us,
Yes.
Poppy, and
Ah,
three of her four puppies. So today is a pretty special day. Today, the puppies have turned 8 weeks old. Is that right, Helena?
oh, yes, that's correct. 8 weeks today.
8 weeks today, and that's so hard to believe. We have been Skyping, or excuse me, we have been Skyping and live streaming with the puppies since April the 25th, and we have had so much fun watching them grow. Now, who is that we have front and center with us, Helena?
This is easy.
Nice
And
and easy. Hi, easy. I've been seeing all the pictures of you eating flowers.
oh, yes, he's kind of a naughty girl.
Well, we are going to go ahead and get started. As I mentioned, we are coming to you from the United States, Clarksville, Arkansas, in the United States, and from Sweden. Now, where are you? Where do you live in Sweden, Helena?
Uh, we live in the middle of Sweden, quite near the capital, that is Stockholm. So my town is called Västerås, or Västerås, you might say, because you don't have the A with two dots or A with a circle as we have in Swedish. So we have two more letters than you do in your, three more than you have in your alphabet.
Well, I did not know that. How
Yes.
how interesting. So you do live close to Stockholm. Is the place where you live considered rural or urban?
Oh, it's a rural area where I live. I have some great big fields just outside my garden, actually.
And it's actually a great thing that you do live in a rural area because you also, in addition to raising these beautiful Dalmatian puppies, you also have chickens.
Oh, yes. And two of them got inside, and then the door shut. So now I also have two chickens in here with me, going around in my living room. So you might hear them from time to
That
time.
is so funny. And what's so fun is we've got to see the puppies grow up uh, with the chickens coming together and living as one community. And when we show the videos a little bit later on, it's so funny. Hi, Rena. Rena says good morning. Whenever we show one of the videos, you just see the chickens running around, and it's like they're just so used to it now. At first, I remember whenever the chickens and the puppies were just so curious about each other. Do you remember that, Helena?
Oh, yes, absolutely. And now they don't take that much notice. But I have to admit that sometimes the puppies get a little bit naughty and they try to chase a chicken, but not for very long, and then not to do any harm,
And the
but
chickens
just for
probably
fun.
don't put up with it, I would imagine.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness.
brothers
Well,
and
I have a picture now. So today is a big day for the puppies. Whenever puppies turn 8 weeks old, they generally go to their new owners. And so tell us what happened before our live stream today.
yes. Today Ninja moved to her new family, and it's actually quite fun because she's gonna live with an, well, we could say an older aunt uh, to live with. And so I've already received pictures of them eating together and playing a little bit together. So
Oh,
that's going to be so awesome.
that is so wonderful. Now, I have to admit that, and I'm showing the photos here of Ninja's new owners there. I
Oh,
have to
yes.
admit that Ninja was one of my, I'll try to say this not too loudly, was one of my favorites because Ninja had a special patch ear and almost an eyebrow spot, just like Molly. So I love those. I love the patch ear dogs. Oh, look at them. They are just snoozing away. Snoozing
Yes.
away. All right. So I'd like to, and in the spirit of that, the dogs being 8 weeks old, I wanted to share a couple pictures of Molly of the day that she left New Orleans and came to Arkansas. Now, Molly didn't get to leave New Orleans until she was 9 weeks old, and that's because there was a hurricane in New Orleans and we had to wait to go get her. But here she is on the very first day. And look at that pink little tummy. Can you see that, boys and girls? There she is looking all cute. Oh, I'll never forget that day. She was just so happy and she really adjusted to to having a new home very quickly. They do that, don't they, Helena?
Oh, yes, they really do. And since they are very curious about things, uh, it's good for them when they leave because they are meant to do that. They are meant to explore the world, sort of. So people often ask, doesn't she get sad? But actually, no, she doesn't really. And but I usually think it's good not to have all puppies leave at the same time on the same day. But the mothers, they don't go looking for the puppy that has gone to a new home or so. So they are meant to leave then. And the mothers, they usually know that. Oh, just
I
one.
guess that I guess that was one of the chickens.
Yes.
Just a guess. Okay, so I have another picture of Molly. So here she is in the airplane, and she had to go in a little bag specially for dogs, and fortunately she fit inside the bag. And so I had to close up the top there and then put her underneath the seat, and she slept all the way home. But look at that cute little nose. She was such a good girl. And I have Helena, I have a special story about that particular trip. We had a layover um, somewhere, and we were supposed to get off the plane, and everybody got off the plane, and I waited, and then the stewardesses were just cooing over her, and they were holding her and all that. And finally one of the pilots came up to us and said, okay, everybody, we need to break this up because we have people waiting to get on the plane.
Oh,
But
funny.
she was a heart stealer even
Oh,
at that age. She
yes.
was just a cutie pie. All right, Helena. So next I am going to show the video, and we can, if you can just walk us through some of the things that we are seeing. So here we go.
Well, good
This was
morning
our very
and
first
welcome.
broadcast,
We have something
Yes.
very,
And I
April
very
believe they
special
were
for
25th.
around
everybody today.
3 weeks
We
then.
have
They were
Helen
3 weeks old. Look at
and
all
her
the
spotted
cuteness. Look how
babies from
tiny they were,
Sweden.
everybody. And then here we are watching the video that Helena sent us, showing us the parents, Poppy, and remind me of the dad's name again.
That's Ibra.
Ibra. And
Yes.
here are the puppies having some breakfast, and you'll notice they're born without spots.
Yes. That's the funny thing about Dalmatians, that the spots appear more and more as the puppies grow. So you can't tell from the beginning how they are going to look when they're adults, actually.
There they are getting bigger, and you start to see their spots coming in.
Yes. And then they start to eat solids or some minced meat. I believe I had they can't only eat milk from their mother.
Here they are walking, and they're so unsteady. They're just like wobbling,
Yes.
trying to find their way. And here they're getting a little bit more verbal, talking.
Oh yes, they do. And nowadays, compared to what you just saw in those pictures in that film, it was now they can even jump up onto things. They last week they couldn't do that, but now they can. So they have their
Much more mobile. Well, here
yes,
they are. Here they are running in the fields. This is yesterday, I believe, or the day before. Tell us about that.
yes. It was actually the first time they were outside of the garden. And we went outside, and it was so exciting for them. And they enjoyed running in the long grass and the dandelions. So I think it's so cute with the yellow flowers and the puppies.
They just really like to bounce, don't they? So
Oh
cute.
yeah,
They're
and
here.
trying to eat flowers and so on.
Yes, here they are playing in the chair. It doesn't look like they're afraid of anything.
No, and that's not a toy for them really, but it gets to be a toy because they use it, and so I think that's really good because it bounces back and forward, and that's could be what they need to learn to be adult dogs. They can walk on any surfaces later on.
Yes, it makes them not afraid, get them used to surfaces like that, and also to practice their balance. So there they are running through the fields. Here's some more pictures. These are
Yeah.
so cute. I bet they had so much fun having such a big area to run in.
Oh yes, they really had. But you can also see in my garden they're really safe, and then they move around in almost all of the garden. But outside they kept much closer to me and to each other because that was new, it was fun and exciting, but a little tiny bit scary too. So
Here,
they kept closer.
yes. So here's a picture of them at the vet yesterday. Can you tell us a little bit about the experience, about why, share with folks why they went to the vet, and also what that was like taking them out into the real world for the first time?
Oh yes, we went by car for the first time ever, and they were such good dogs in the car. They made some small sounds, but not much at all. And then when we came into the vets, they were quite content and confident, and not even taking a shot was none of them got afraid of that. So that's very good to get vaccinated. And then they also got an ID, a chip in their necks too, and that's quite a big syringe. But they actually did very well, not being wimpies at all. And listened to looked at their teeth and bending their legs to see so they don't have pain anywhere and so on, feels on the stomach, on the tail, everything. Just a thorough vet examination. And that's because the new owners should know they are getting a healthy dog.
Yes, that's
So,
really important, isn't it? Look at the paws on Easy. I mean, those paws are some pretty big paws, aren't they?
oh yes, they have really grown the last week, and you can see on their little legs that they are betting these little bigger lumps, or what to say, over here,
Mm-hmm.
and because they are going to grow quite a bit. So now, not all parts of the dog grows at the same speed. So now these part in the joints are growing a bit.
What I remember about Molly, and I'm not sure if this is all Dalmatians, it might be because I've only raised a couple of dogs from puppies, is I remember Molly had just all this extra skin. She was like really wavy. And as she started to become a teenager, and I thought, well, she just was going to grow into that. And she did. And I remember that thinking, wow, look at this. This is just, she's getting ready to really grow up. And it's so much fun watching them
Yes,
grow from little bitty white little fur balls into into grown dogs. Hi,
yes.
Emily. Emily says sleeping puppies. Sometimes those are the best, isn't it, Helena?
Yes.
So I thought it would be
In
fun to
sleeping.
talk
Yes.
about.
And they also,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
yes, and I say you can still sit and watch them even sleeping. That's what I do in the evenings. First I watch them play and then I watch them sleep because they're so cute.
They are so cute, and I just want to hold one so bad. I'm so happy for their new owners that just get to snuggle with them, and I'm also not only am I happy, I'm a little jealous. But that's going to be so much fun. So I thought for fun, Helena, today we could talk a little bit about some myths about Dalmatians. What do you say? Does that sound like a good idea?
Oh yes, that sounds great.
Okay, so I have a few myths here, and I thought I would just let you talk a little bit more about it and let us know if it's true or false. So here we go. Our first myth is all Dalmatians are super active.
Well, actually not. It differs even in the breed, I'd say. Some are very active, but most of them are, well, could you say ordinary active or medium active maybe? They shouldn't really be hyperactive. So no, I don't think all are. They like to run a little bit, of course, but I think that applies to most dogs.
Yes, and one of the things we talked about last week is how important it is to let the Dalmatian, I call it, get their energy out. Although I don't think they ever get their energy out, but to let them play as much as possible and get some exercise. You don't have to be a runner or somebody that's rarely athletic. You just need to be able to let them get their exercise. Maybe take them to a dog park, um, or if you are athletic, take them on a run with you.
Yes, and maybe go swimming if you have uh, the possibility to do that. I usually go swimming with my dolls in the summer in a lake nearby, so that's good for them. And also doing training things like doing tricks and so on. I know Molly, she knows tons of tricks, doesn't she?
She
So,
knows 82 tricks.
oh, that's awesome. So I think that's also important to do with your Dalmatian.
And not
So
only does it help, uh, if they're very active, kind of get their energy out, it also helps them um, be more content. I'm trying to think of the word I'm looking for, be more content, and also um, use their brains because Dalmatians, like we said, Dalmatians are very, very smart and they need to be able to do that so they're so they don't go down a different path. of possibly eating something or chewing on something that they shouldn't. But if you keep them really involved and really active, then they're happy dogs, and they make wonderful pets, don't they?
Oh, absolutely. And it's also very good to bond with them that way. It keeps your bond with the dog stronger too.
Yes.
And it's
Yes.
fun for the owners too. So I think they are great companions or pets.
Listen to that. Oh, stretch. Oh my goodness. I love the way Molly used to do this too. She used to sleep with her legs straight out like that.
Oh
And
yes.
it's just so adorable. And just see those little bellies. Oh my goodness. Do they still have the puppy breath?
Well, not as apparent as before, since now they are outside so much. So they are more
Look at that
dirty.
leg. That must be the spot.
Yes, I'm scratching her belly a little bit. Oh,
She's like, don't stop. Look at that. Oh my goodness. I just wish I could reach through the screen and pet. Okay, so we have another myth. Is this true or false? Dalmatians only have black spots.
well, as you can see, that's definitely a myth. Because you see this little brown liver nose? That's easy, and that's a correct color. They could be either black, like Dante, as he will be called over here, or brown, or you call them liver spots. Their mother, Poppy, she has liver spots, and their daddy has black spots. So the puppies turned out some black and one liver.
So the
People
puppy.
ask, is that really a patient? Yes.
Yes, so adorable. Now the puppy whose paw you were just holding, in the center there. Can you show underneath the paw, please? Because I wanted the boys and girls to see how this puppy also has spots on their paws. Some do, some don't. And look at the black toenail. Can you show the black toenail pointed out, Helena? Right there.
Black and some that are light. And that's because he has a spot just here. So that's why he got the toenail black.
I think that is super cool. They
Yes.
also can have spots inside. Now you can really see those paws. They also have spots inside their mouth, and or some do.
Oh yes, they do.
Some do.
Oh, it's hard maybe
Look
to
at
see.
those teeth.
No?
Look at those little teeth.
Yes.
Aww. So cute.
It's hard. Hmm.
Now that one in the center really has a lot of spots on the paw. I've never seen so many spots on a paw before.
Oh, I would say he has gone lots of more spots only during the last week in his, I don't know if you can see it now, in the forehead. You can see
Yes.
they aren't quite as clear yet, but
Mm-hmm.
just about a week or so, two maybe ago, he didn't have those spots. So
My
they are
goodness.
slowly coming forward.
They really are. And as I mentioned before, I hope we'll get some pictures of them when they're growing up so we can see how much they have changed, because they will look a lot different whenever
Oh,
they're adults, won't they?
yes, they really will.
Okay, so we have one more, and this is actually a question that came in. And this is Julia, and Julia said, I heard that all Dalmatians are deaf.
Oh, definitely not. That's absolutely false. They can be deaf. Some Dalmatians are, but it's just, I don't know how big of a percentage, and it might difference from here in Europe and USA. I'm not quite sure of the numbers,
Hmm.
but they are definitely just a small amount of them. So no.
Yes, here in the United States, I had looked it up at one time. I believe it was 20% maybe, or possibly 30%. It was low, and not all Dalmatians, if they do have uh, challenges in hearing, sometimes it's just in one ear, it's not both. Is that
No,
right?
absolutely. My guess is that those 20 or to 30%, that would involve those with hearing in one ear and being deaf.
Mm-hmm.
On I think the numbers are smaller than that.
Mm-hmm.
I have had, this is the N litter, what is 14 litters, and I've only had one deaf puppy in all those.
Wow.
Yes, and then maybe two that had hearing in one ear, and were deaf on the other. But since they still can hear, they in Sweden they are counted as hearing puppies.
Gotcha.
Yes.
So let me see here. I just love the way they are sleeping. They just look like sweet little angels, don't they?
Oh yes, they do. They have
So
doing mischiefs all day.
share with us, because each week we have done this, share with us some of the different things that they have been up to this past week.
Oh, it's not very good, but they don't listen to me as they used to.
What?
They are being so big now and quite uh,
Independent.
independent. I almost forgot it. Why do I? I know it were, but still, they are so independent now. So now when I make the food sound, calling for them, earlier they were all coming at me at the highest speed, and nowadays they look at me and nah, I'll come later. that, but I know also it's in a way good because they are meant to be more and more independent. So it's not that bad, but you have to practice that very much with your dog, with your Dalmatian, to come when you're called.
That is so important. One tip for people that may be training their dogs is you want to make it's called recall. You want to make that a pleasant experience. So if your dog starts to get away from you and you start getting very angry, or you start to raise voice, or you get really upset, the dog's not going to want to come to you. But if you do your best to be very positive and then really praise them when they come back to you, and you want them to think you're the most exciting person to be with, they'll come back to you. And that's when you give them lots of praise and lots of love. And they want to do what they can to listen to you. Isn't that right, Helena?
Yes, that's absolutely right.
And
And
it doesn't hurt to have a treat in your pocket. I have
uh,
one in my pocket almost all the time, and it's just for the reason just like that, because if um, sometimes Bonin tends to he's very independent, and he really likes to uh, well, just be, let's just say, just be independent. And so whenever he does come to me, it's a big deal for him, because he would much rather be playing or doing whatever he's doing. So at that time, if I call him and he comes to me, I give him a treat, and then he's like, "Oh, I know, if I go every time she calls me, she's going to have a treat for me." So it doesn't
yes,
hurt to have a treat in your pocket whenever you can. Do,
absolutely.
do you have any, and speaking of tips, let's do that before we wrap this up. Do you have any tips for people that may have a new puppy? Do you have anything that you'd like to share?
Um, yes, one thing that I think is very important is to keep their dog's nails short. And I know it's maybe in the US you tend to go to the groomers or somewhere to get the nails done, but it's very easy to do it by yourself if you do it from the when the puppy is little, and as always do it gently but firmly, and give them treats and make it a great experience, and they will love it. Actually, my dogs tend to sometimes line up when I do sit down for trimming their nails because they know they're going to get some treats and they all want to be the first one to go.
That is wonderful. And you're so right. If you start out when they're a puppy, then they're used to it. They don't know any different. By the time they get older, they're like, okay. And that's one thing that's always been nice about Molly is I'll ask her to give me her paw and she'll put her paw up in my one hand and then I'm able to do whatever I need to do, trim her nails or whatever. And so you're right, doing that at a very early age gets them used to it, and that's a good thing. Same thing with socialization. Whenever these puppies go to their new homes, they'll learn new socialization skills. Some may be around kids, some may be around other dogs. It's just a good idea to get them used to different experiences, and not only people and animals, but experiences like taking them for a walk and letting them see a grate, for example, or different types of surfaces. Just get them used to all of these things when they're a puppy, and they won't even think a thing of it when they're older.
No, that's absolutely right. And also with everything you do with your puppy, it should be with some treats, and they should be enjoying it. If you want to give your dog a bath, or if you want to check their teeth, do that often, just a little bit, and they won't take any notice later on.
That's
You'll have it.
right.
And if you go to the vets with your dog when it's older, maybe for a shot of vaccine or something, but then it's much easier if they are used to being handled, and if the vet can look at the legs and bend, and if that's all right, and if they're used to it since they're little, that wouldn't be a problem later on.
That's right. Well, those are some really good tips. And Helena, I want to thank you and Poppy and the puppies for spending time with us the past 5 weeks. And we have had so much fun watching them grow, seeing all the new things that they've experienced, and just also learning not only about the puppies, we've had a great time learning about your country. And I I'm just so thankful that you um, that we connected in this way, and I hope that everyone viewing this has viewed these live streams over the past few weeks have enjoyed this as well. So before we go, we do this every week. We share a fire safety tip. So I'll start, Helena, and then you be thinking about one that you would like to share. Um, let's see if I can try to share one. Hi, Maria. Maria says cute. Maria is from Sweden, I believe. So welcome, Maria. Um, let's see. One thing about puppies is they are very, very curious. So, one fire safety tip I would like to share is that you need to try to keep not only children but dogs away from the stove. They can be very curious. Here in the United States, we recommend at least 3 feet away. Now, I remember Bowden, when he was little, we didn't have anything on the stove, okay? But he was able to accidentally turn on the burner. And fortunately, I was right there, and I noticed this, that he turned on the burner. First of all, I couldn't believe he could do that, but he did. So what I did was I took all the knobs off of the stove, and to this day, I still have them off. I know he's not going to jump up there, but it's just a way to stay safe. So that is my safety tip. And Helena, what would yours be?
Well, I would say that not only keeping, you have to have a place to go to when if there's a fire. And for me, it's very important to also have to be at a place where I can also bring my dogs. So your meeting point or your meeting place, if you have pets and it's possible because because of the fire and so on, bring the dogs or cat or whatever outside with you. So that's why I have the dog yard where I have my meeting point. So have a good meeting point, and you also all in the family should know where is it, and maybe you should also practice going outside sometimes and meet up at the right place.
Yes, that is a great safety tip. And if you can, like Helena said, practice your plan at least twice a year. Make sure everybody knows, and not only just the folks inside your house, but if you have people that stay overnight or people that come and visit, just share with them where your meeting place is. That's also a great safety tip. So thank you for that. Thank you for that safety tip, Helena. And again, thank you so much for this experience. We have just had an amazing time. We hope the puppies have a great time in their new homes. And we thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much. It has really been a pleasure being on air with the puppies and talking about Dalmatians and fire safety.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much, and give the puppies a hug for us, okay?
Oh yes, I will.
And thank you so much. And thank you everybody for joining us. We had a great time today, and we hope that you enjoyed this live stream and that you will stay safe. So from the United States and from Sweden, goodbye everybody.
Hej då!